All right, guys, welcome. I'm here with Titus Underwood. He is the principal oboe of our very own Nashville Symphony. So thank you so much, Titus, for joining us.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you for having me.
when we have viewers, of course, ranging from kindergarten all the way up through our music educators, we probably have families that are watching this as well. So we're really excited to hear from you and have a chance to meet you. And I have some pretty interesting questions that I've pulled myself, and then ones that I feel like our students will really benefit from as well. But let's start out with this one. So I introduced you as the principal oboe of the Nashville Symphony. What does that mean?
Well, I play in the Nashville Symphony full time. That's what I do. And I love playing music. You know, it's at the Skirmerhorn right downtown. In the center of downtown, we're actually right across the street, catty corner from the Country Music Hall of Fame. So you've probably seen this kind of museum-ish looking building downtown. But I play oboe, and the oboe I'm right in the center of the orchestra. So if you ever been to a symphony concert, anything like that, right before the concert master, the first violin, stands up, and then I give an A or tune the orchestra. That's what the oboe is, and I'm the person right in the center of the orchestra, and pretty much keeping us in line. But it's a very fun job to do, and I've always enjoyed it ever since I've been doing it. And I play classical music. We play jazz sometimes, and pops music and all that stuff. So it's a wide variety of things that we do at the symphony.
That's awesome. And I think that's really interesting to hear too. You said classical music, but you also hit some other genres. And guys, that kind of echoes. You've probably seen the interview with Miss Kimberly McLemore, and she spoke about the different genres that the symphony plays. So make sure you connect that. So we have the principal oboist of the Nashville Symphony, and then we've also heard about the Nashville Symphony at large as well. So make that connection. That's great. And my next question kind of ties right into that. So what made you choose music? So we have students, of course, that have chosen music as a path because we're music students. But what made you choose the path of music? And then what made you choose the instrument that you've chosen, the oboe?
Okay, so my story is pretty simple. I'm originally from Pensacola, Florida. It's like northern Florida. I grew up in a very musical family. So all my siblings, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, a very big family. And I grew up, my dad was a minister, and he sang and played piano. My mother sang and played piano. My dad played organ as well. So everyone in my family played an instrument. So I was just looking for my voice. It wasn't, are you going to do music? It's like, what instrument are you going to play? So I was in that category of, it was just part of me. And it felt like it was a very natural thing to do for me. So my older sister played the violin, and I loved classical music. I loved hearing her play and hearing her play in the house. And I really enjoyed it. And she was the one that suggested the oboe to me. So she showed me a recording of the oboe. I fell in love with it ever since, and I was introduced to it when I was in about almost done with 4th grade, and I became obsessive over it when I was in 5th grade. And then when it was time for me to sign up for an instrument in band, I walked into the band room and said, I want to play the oboe. And they were really excited because it's really hard to get someone to play it. So I've been playing the oboe ever since.
Wow, that's awesome. And you made me think about when I was in band. I want to say this was because I joined band actually late, and I started playing the trumpet. And my grandmother had purchased, there was a trumpet at my grandmother's house, and that was the instrument I was playing. So, but my heart was after a different instrument, and it took me a couple years to purchase my own. And so then I started playing clarinet. But that's awesome. So what grade did you begin playing oboe? Just curious.
6th grade. So I started right in 6th grade. I started right on the oboe. So right in 6th grade.
That's great.
Yeah.
I bet your band director really appreciated you.
He was ecstatic. He was like, yes, you're an oboe player. So they didn't have to think about recruiting anyone to turn someone from clarinet to oboe, saxophone to oboe, flute to oboe, nothing like that. It was just, they had an oboe player right there.
That's awesome. Well, that's cool. That's nice. Well, let's talk a bit about, so now that you play oboe, and you play oboe in our Nashville Symphony. So what is it like to do that? And so I'm thinking about even your practicing and preparation for the performance, and then performing on stage. What is it like to play in a symphony orchestra?
I think playing the symphony orchestra is really cool. So, I mean, you get to, your hobby becomes your career. So what I like to do is my career. So we play 2 to 3 shows every week, different music every week, So it's a lot of practice, a lot of preparation. So usually I have to practice a lot at home. I have to listen to the music. I have to show up to the first rehearsal absolutely prepared because, my colleagues are depending on me. And the best thing about, we play in front of 1,500 people every week. That's a lot of people sitting on stage. You have to make music, in the hall. But the most important thing is playing with wonderful colleagues and being in just that wash of sound, Just sitting on stage and making music with others, there's nothing like it. So it's one thing to experience it on the other end, but it's another thing to even be making the music and putting it out to people who are listening. So that's the thing I really enjoy about it. And the thing that got me there was just a lot of practice, being very focused on what I want to do. And if you decide to do whatever you choose to do, just go full-fledged in it. Like, really be focused and be motivated to do it. Know you have the capability to do it, because it doesn't take a ton of talent. It takes a lot of efficient work, hard work, and just being smart about each step that you take to achieve your goal.
That's really good. And the first thing that came to mind when you said different music every week. So I would say, and this is for those band students and orchestra students that are out there that hear the word sight reading. So is sight reading a skill that we should probably sharpen if we're interested in?
Oh, of course. You got to be able to play on the fly. You have to be able, and your sight reading gets better as your technique gets better and your music making gets better. So the one thing I want them to do is just enjoy making music, and always remind yourself why you chose to play the instrument that you play. Never forget that. Remember why you fell in love with it, and just enjoy it. Even if, it's cool because you like it. It doesn't have to be cool because someone's like, oh, I don't do band or something like that. I think it's cool because you like to do it, and making music is always going to be fun because everything is surrounded by music. So we need people to make music in order for people to listen to music. So, I think that's the thing that, one, keeps me coming back to it, and that's the thing that keeps it interesting.
You said a mouthful, and you said all that was rich. But that one statement you made, it's cool because you like it. And I think many times in school, and this goes for a lot of our listeners, but we tend to listen to look at what looks cool to everybody else. But if you enjoy it, that's reason enough to pursue it. So
Exactly.
that's great. That's really good. So you've kind of alluded a bit to this already, but let's expound a bit upon what would you say it took for you to achieve the level of excellence that you perform at now, and that's expected upon you?
It took, I would say primarily a mindset. I had to want it. There are times when I wanted to quit. There's times when I wanted to put it down. There's times I was like, is this really for me? You're practicing, you can't figure something out, or something that you practice isn't coming together, or your sound is as great as you want to be, or you comparing yourself to someone next to you. We all do that. Yes. But the thing that kept me, keeping myself on the path that I wanted to do, to exceed in this and achieve a certain level of excellence, I had to first believe that I could do it. So first I have to believe that I can do it, and then I see what's the path to get there, and I decide to do it once I see the path. And the path isn't always, I always say the path of resistance is always the clear path. So the path that takes the work is your clear path, and that pays off in the end. And the better you get, the more efficient you get, the more you enjoy what you do. Because I always say that you're given a voice, and this is the voice you've chosen. Yeah. So we're bridging that gap, and you're becoming more expressive. So the better you get, the better you are expressing how you feel through your instrument, because you have the tools to do it. So for me, I had to think that I was already great. I had to start thinking that I was great at that moment and start doing the things that other great people did at that. And I had to model myself at this. So what does a person do who plays an instrument in an excellent manner? And then I model myself after that. And I started taking those habits on. Not that I'm trying to do it anymore, that it just becomes who I am. And then because it becomes who I am, I enjoy it. And because I enjoy it, I keep coming back to it. So it's mainly a mindset that you have to have in order to achieve it, because you never think that you don't have enough talent. You need like a speck of talent. That's about it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And guys, for those watching and listening, Titus Underwood is also an instructor with our Cellarando program, and that's also listed on the site. And you can hear that in the way that he's even responding to these questions, the instructor and the passion that's inside of him. So great response. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's interesting because your answers are like right in line with the questions I have.
Yeah, that's great.
They really are. The next one is what motivates you to do the work that you do. So what would you say is a motivator? And you alluded to this already in that last response, but anything else you'd like to add around what motivates you to continue to make music?
I love it. I love inspiring young people. I love inspiring other people. I love shocking myself at what I'm capable of doing. You know, you have to be, my mother used to always say, a frog must croak for his own pond, which means you have to be your own cheerleader. You have to be your first person who champions what you do. And then people will flock to that positive energy. So because I love what I do, I keep coming back to it, and other people want to be a part of that. And then you play with other people who love to do it, and then other people want to be a part of that. So that's how you kind of even grow a community of artists and people that you play with and make music with, or art, or whatever you choose to do in this space. You know, you have to absolutely love what you're doing, because you don't want to do, and yeah, there's some things about, you know, practice that I don't love doing, right? I don't want to sit up and play scales all day, but those things are the things that help me do the things that I love. You know, it's like taking a little bit of medicine, right? You say a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. I mean, maybe that's the reference the kids may not, you know, but my thing is you have to be able to do the things that are necessary in order to access the things that you love. Wow. So it's just a balance. It's a balance of things. And that's why I keep coming back to it, because I absolutely love, and I couldn't see my life without music.
Wow, that's good. And something that came to mind when you said, something you said in the beginning, but once you find your joy or your passion in something and you really live in that, it's contagious. Mm-hmm. And it draws people. Not being concerned about what other people may think about what you do, but you're excited and you love and you're passionate about what you do. When you exist in that and you live in that, it is contagious. That's awesome. That's great. And just to add on to what Titus just said, so around what motivates you to do the work that you do, you also, Titus and I teamed on the project that came out in 2020, video project. Actually, I can now say the Emmy award-winning video project. We are now.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, actually, can you talk a bit about, because guys, it all started from a phone conversation. So that's how that started. So yeah, what launched you to call me around?
Yeah. So I kind of live by this today, in a sense. I always say the internet is a new stage. Mm-hmm. And when I heard Bryson's song about maybe 3 years ago, something like that, I said, oh, this is a really nice song. I really like this. I mean, it's an earworm. It gets caught up in your ear. You want to sing it. You want to be a part of it. It's very, it's about community. So when the pandemic happened, the symphony was out, I thought to myself, I said, you know, maybe this should turn, and I saw people putting things online, you know, like performances, but I was like, maybe this should be something that really kind of shows Nashville and has kind of like a story to it, or like I'm gonna go deeper than just, you know, let's play it and maybe sing it. So I said, hey, I have this idea. So I called up Bryson. I said, hey, I have this idea, and you know, I want people speaking in different languages and show the diversity of Nashville. I even want shout out to Baby Carter Hammonds, you know, and his family, and I want a conductor on there. I'm gonna call the conductor be on there, and Bryce was like, yeah, let's do it. So I was like, can you get a lot of the kids on there? He's like, yeah, I can coordinate that. I'm like, okay, you knock that out. Then I'm gonna go over here and get these musicians over here. I'm called the conductors, and we're gonna put this thing together. Yeah. So that was the thing that motivated me to just do it, because the song resonated with me. And you know, I have a big interest in visual things that live in the internet space, and so I knew that this would reach out to a lot of people, and I was like, let's combine our forces and make this happen. It came out beautifully, and you know, we wound up getting an Emmy. I wasn't expecting it to go that far, but you know, you never know when you're passionate, you love something, you know, fruit comes from it, and other people, like I said, other people want to be a part of it. When you love something and you really care about it and you do it to your best of your ability, things will come into your life that you wouldn't even expect. So as long as you're driven to do it, the fruit will bear itself.
There's such a message in that. That's great. Just live in your passion, guys. And I want to commend you, Titus, on just having the vision. And as you were talking, I was thinking back to its creation and how it came together. But yeah, even the piece with you can hear other languages. There's the performers, the instrumentalists and also the vocalists are speaking in their their native languages at the end. All diverse languages. And yeah, just the visual aspect of it, seeing images of Nashville, and Nashville had just we were going through a pandemic, but
and the tornado,
there were the riots. It was like
yeah, everything was going on.
Yeah, it was very timely. So yeah, that was awesome. And guys, if you haven't seen it, go to the homepage of this website, wearenashvillefestival.com, and it's right on the homepage, and you can view that performance. So that's awesome. Thank you. So one more question kind of around you, and then we're going to shift gears a little bit. Sure. But when you're not performing with the Nashville Symphony, what other things do you engage in? And these could be music related, or these could be things that are not music related.
Okay, so I'll start music related. I just finished a short film. I've been announcing that on everything. So I literally just finished a short film. I'm very big on doing film and things like that. The other thing I like to do, I like spending time with my fiance. I'm getting married on June 12th.
Awesome.
We like spending time together, going for walks and playing games, watching shows together. I like to read a lot. I love the bike. You can see my bike's back there. I literally just got off riding my bike before this. So I love cycling. But I mean, one of my main passions is I love playing video games. I'm sure y'all like playing video games too. But I love playing video games. It's I've been playing it since I was young. They say video games are not for adults. That's a lie. So I think, so I would say my passions are music, video games, and sports. So those are things I like to do: reading, playing games, and cycling, and spending time with my fiance. Those are my things I like to do.
That's awesome. And guys, there's a Nearpod lesson. So if you go on Artists and Entertainment, right on this page, go down to the bottom, there's a Nearpod lesson, and it's featuring the video. It's Titus Unscripted. And so he's talking around some of the things that he enjoys doing outside of, playing in the symphony orchestra. So feel free to take a look at that and engage in that lesson. It's really cool. All right. Cool. So let's shift gears a bit. So how is your experience in music education? So thinking back to you as a student in the music classroom, like many of our viewers are right now, how do you feel that has impacted who you are right now today? And that may be an obvious question, but I'd love to hear you talk about that.
Well, I have to say that the beauty of music is that I've always had teachers who invested in me. I always had teachers who really took an interest in me. And the thing about music, a lot of music teachers, if you ask, they'll tell you the answer. They'll if they know, they are looking for students with that, that light in their eyes that really want to find interest in it. And it's been an integral part of my development. From my middle school band teacher up into my high school band teacher. She was the one I was doing high school. I was in a homeschool association and also dual enrolled, went to college at the same time. It was, a lot of crazy stuff. But I wound up, she really invested in me a lot. And then when I got into conservatory, my teachers at conservatory just really took me to the next level. And also my teacher, when I went to Juilliard, she's still my mentor today. So I look at them as like some of the, the people who really invested in me heavily. I was in California, my teacher, Ann Gable, she really invested in me. So I've always had many teachers who really, really was a part of my journey. And I have to say my music education is the reason why I'm here. I mean, that's why music should be in schools. Music should be everywhere. Music should be supported, and it should be accessible to everyone. That's what We Are Nashville is about, is that this should be accessible to everyone. Everyone can be a part of this, because you know what? The more people you have a part of, the more diverse your community is, the richer it is. Just think of it as like many different ingredients, put into a dish. You don't want just salt and pepper, just two things. You want many different contributions and thoughts and frames of thinking in that. So just think of yourself as an individual, what you have to add to it and what your experience is. So We Are Nashville, those collective experiences coming together to build something great in a greater community.
Yeah. That's so good. You took me right to a food example. I know when I eat my mom's collard greens, I want more than just salt in there.
Oh yeah, you want it all in there. Oh yeah.
I need all the flavorings and the seasonings. So that's so good. That's good. Yeah. Yes, yeah, music education. Yeah, I could talk forever about the impact that it's made on me. I wouldn't be here doing this if it wasn't for my music educators in the past, especially my high school band director.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, great. So two more questions. So one would be, if you were to give, and you've given a whole lot of different tips and advice to students, but if there was like one thing that you could say, even to your younger self, right now, whether that younger self is in 3rd grade or 6th grade or 10th grade, what would that be? And just something our younger learners and viewers can benefit from.
Never give up. Follow your passion. Do the thing that you love. You know, stay connected with your teachers. Be nice to others. I can't tell you how much it's simple advice, but the people that you see today are the people that you will see later. So build a community of people that hold you up. You know, strive to be excellent. Really strive to do your best. And know that when other people are showing up, that they're doing their best as well. But always push yourself to go a little bit further, because you'll be shocked at how great you can be if you always just move it up just a little bit more, because that's what keeps you coming back to it. So if I were to tell my younger self, work slightly harder, you know, be a little bit more focused, pay a little bit more attention in class, you know that my teacher has my best interest at heart and really invested in me. And then most of all, follow what you love and do what you do, and know that you have a unique voice. You know, you grow from seeing others, but also know that you have something unique and something to say as well.
Wow, that's great. And I remember hearing things like that when I was in school and being like, okay, I got it. But like, I would say the same thing. Like those tips are incredibly valuable. So guys, I hope you really heard that. If you need to stop it and rewind and listen to that again, those are tips, words of advice for you. Okay. And that's applicable for everybody. Mm-hmm. That's great. Okay. So I have one more question for you. And this is around the event, and you've alluded to this as well.
Yeah.
When you kind of defined "We Are Nashville" in an answer that you gave earlier, but yeah. So when you hear the phrase "We Are Nashville," let's expound upon that phrase and what that means to you.
Well, like I said before, "We Are Nashville" means we're as a community. "We Are Nashville" means music accessible to all, arts accessible to all. Everyone has something to contribute. Every person has value. Every person has something to say, and every single one of you are absolutely unique. That creates the greater Nashville, and you are the future of Nashville. You are the ones who would take that torch from us and lead forward. That's one thing I want to show in the video. We have Maestro Giancarlo, who graced us with his presence on the video, but also look at young Carter. That shows the legacy of people that we're growing just from being inspired by the things that are in Nashville. You know, those are the things that is so unique about this place, is that there's so much music to be made. There's so much art to be created. So, and just know that even in the sea of many art makers, that each one of you has something very, very special to say. No matter what background you come from, no matter how you identify, that you are absolutely unique and you are important.
Wow, that's great. That's encouraging. Well, Titus, thank you so much. Yeah, I can't express how appreciative I am to all the artists that have given up of their time and just spoken words of encouragement and advice, and also just your knowledge with all of our viewers. I really appreciate it. And if any of our viewers want to contact you or follow you, how can they do that? So
they can follow me at Titus Oboe on Instagram. So at Titus Oboe. At Instagram, Titus Underwood on Facebook, and soon to come, TitusUnderwood.com is coming soon. So. Oh snap! Okay. Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. That's great. Well, thank you again, Titus. And guys, make sure you go back. I'm going to list those links under the video, so make sure you check out those links, and make sure you follow Titus on social media. And that's everything. Have a great day. Thank you again.